I'm having a bad dream. My body, injured as it is, demands long, deep sleep, but my mind is still stuck replaying all that happened today and won't let me rest peacefully. My body, still not fully healed, is burning. My mind is plagued with guilt. I think I'm crying out in my sleep. As I sleep, my dream drags on. How many victims were there? Tosaka said there were no deaths, but that might just be the official story. No way does someone come out unscathed after having their life force ripped from them. They could suffer any number of long-term physical problems in years to come, or even brain damage from lack of oxygen. Some students even had severe skin damage. Even if they heal, they'll likely have scars for the rest of their lives. My body hurts. I nearly did die today. No, I did die today. A convulsion rocks my whole body. Bad luck for everyone who got sucked into this today, but you did well, Shiro. You stopped a catastrophe, and you did it by taking a wound that would normally kill you. There's nothing to feel guilty about. The pain tries to tell me to just go to sleep. No. I can't make excuses for myself. It doesn't matter. There was a disaster and I just happened to be there, but I couldn't do anything. They're saying I saved lives, but I didn't save anyone, not one person. If only this had just been a mistake, if only it hadn't happened, then my mind would be at peace and I could sleep. I'm pissed off. It's absurd. My heart complaining like this, but my body's already so weak. There won't be a miracle like that. Just wishing for a do-over because that things didn't go well, or were so terrible they should never have happened. It's pathetic. You can't take back what's already done. It's not possible and shouldn't be attempted anyway. So I can't just pretend all that didn't happen. There's only one thing I can do. Make sure I do everything I possibly can to prevent anything like that from ever happening again. That's enough sleep. I can worry about my body later. If I can move, I should wake up and hit the ground running. If my goal is to make sure no one is hurt, I'll need to push myself to the verge of death. I open my eyes. I take one deep breath, filling my lungs with air. The frigid winter air dispels my drowsiness almost instantly. I realize it's just past 6 in the morning. Habits really are extraordinary things. My body must have at least partly recovered since I'm waking up at my usual time. Okay. I stand up and fold up my futon blanket. The instant I undertake even such a mundane task, intense pain spikes through my left shoulder. Yeah, I guess I'm not completely healed. It's only pain, though. This is far better than what I felt when Berserker tore out my stomach the other day. When that happened, my insides felt like they were slush, and the nausea was far more intense than the pain. I forget that this has only been like barely a week for these guys. Jeez Louise. So much happens. Like, even when it feels like there's nothing happening, it's like, damn, that really was like not that long ago for these guys, but a lot has actually taken place. I head out to the hallway. The sunlight is muted by the gloom outside. It's cloudy. Looks like it's going to rain. Shiro, how have you awoken? Yeah, I just woke up. You're up early. You're usually asleep around now. She's not typically up so long before breakfast. Shiro, 私とて好きで眠っているわけではありません。私が朝食まで眠っているのは単に魔力を温存するためだと言ったはずです。Sure, I do not sleep because I want to. I've mentioned this before, but I only sleep until breakfast to conserve my module energy. その、いかにも普段から寝過ごしているという物言いはやめてほしい。I would appreciate you not suggesting that I've mainly been sleeping in. Why? I didn't mean for it to sound like that. I was more asking if it was okay for you to be awake so early. ほう、そうですか。私が早起きするのはおかしいと。Oh, were you? So you're saying that you find me being an early riser odd? She sounds crabby. Maybe it's my imagination. She doesn't seem quite as reserved as usual. No, I didn't say it was strange. I was just wondering if it was okay. It's my fault that you need to sleep so much. Don't you need to sleep as much as possible today, too? 当然です。ですが、それはあくまで待機状態に過ぎません。私が眠っていたのは緊急時に備えてのもの。今の状態で眠るのは道理にかなわないではないですか。 Of course, but I'm simply remaining on standby. I'm sleeping in anticipation of emergency, so I do not think it's logical for me to sleep right now. What do you mean it's not logical? We're not fighting anybody right now and nobody's attacking us.
いえ、ですからそれは。
She's stumbling over her words. It seems like there's something she doesn't want to say. Well, whatever. There's no emergency, so you should sleep until the next time we go out. I'll call you up when breakfast's ready, so just save your strength until then. I'm going to need your help all day today. I head to the
待ってくだ
kitchen.
さい、シロ。
Please wait, Shiro. Do you have something else?
あなたは今何をすると言いましたか？
What did you just say you were going to do? I hold my breath, barely realizing when I'm doing it. She's asked me something, but her eyes are preventing me from giving an answer.
そもそもあなたは安静にしなければいけない体でしょう。
You should be resting.
朝食の支度など凛がします。シロが優先すべきことは部屋で休み、体を癒すことです。それが分かっていないとは言わせません。
Rin will prepare breakfast. Your priority is recuperating in your brain and letting your body heal. If you do not understand this, then I will not hear your answer to my question. Saber is being so stern because she's genuinely concerned about me.
部屋に戻ってください、シロ。眠りが必要なのは私ではなくあなたの方です。
Please return to your room, Shiro. You're the one who should be sleeping, not me. She sees right through me and glares at me all the more intensely. Still, I can't let Shinji loose. No, I'm not going back to my room. I've rested enough, and there are things I need to do. Once we're ready, let's head out to town, Saber. We're going to catch Shinji. Today.
なぜですか？今日中にライダーのマスターを捕らえる理由などありません。戦うのならシロの傷が癒えてからにするべきです。それからでも遅くはないでしょう。
Why? There's no particular reason we need to capture Ryder's master today. If we are to fight, we should do it after your wounds have healed. It will not be too late. You've got it wrong, Saber. If we're setting priorities, my body is at the bottom of the list. We don't have the luxury of waiting. You know exactly what Shinji is willing to do. We need to separate him from Ryder before they make another battlefield. He won't be a threat if he doesn't have a servant.
昨日のような犠牲者を出したくないというのですか？ライダーのマスターを倒すのではなく、ただそれだけのために戦うと。
So you're saying you do not want more victims like yesterday? Is that why you're doing this? Not to defeat Ryder's master? That's not true. I'm going to hold Shinji accountable. To do that, we need to defeat Ryder. And it's the right thing to do, to prevent more victims. That's the most important reason we have to
そうで
fight.
すか。マスターがそう言うのなら、私は従うだけですが。
If that's your command, I will obey.
シンジを探す？別に文句はないけど、ちゃんと勝ち目があって言ってるんでしょうね、シロ。
Find Shinji? I don't really have a problem with that, but you're saying this because you think you have a chance at winning, right? It's after breakfast. That's Tosuka's immediate response when I say we can't just let Shinji remain on the run. You're asking about my chances of beating Shinji?
そうよ。前もって言っとくけど、賞賛もないくせに他のマスターに手を出す気だった。なんて言ったら笑うわよ。
That's right. I'll be honest here, if you're planning on going up against the Master without a hope of winning, I'm going to die laughing. Crap. Now that she mentions it, I've really only thought about stopping Shinji. I haven't really given much thought to the details, or any.
ちょっと、エミヤくん、本気？
Are you serious? Sorry, laugh all you want.
うわ、悪いけど笑えないわ、今の冗談。
Oh, sorry, that's really not funny. That reaction makes it clear just how stupid I'm being. I want to curl up into a little ball and hide.
セイバー、あんたのマスターはこんなんだけど、あなた自身はどうなの？
ライダーと戦うだけならば問題はありません。彼女の能力は確認済みです。
I have no qualms about fighting Ryder. I've already assessed his strength.
それはシロ本人も分かっていると思います。何しろライダーと直接対峙したのですから。
And I believe Shira has also gauged her abilities. He confronted her directly as well.
ああ、そうだっけ。なら、シローにもライダーがどの程度かは分かっているんだ。
Really? So Shira knows how strong she is, too. Tosuka looks my way, her eyes curious. She obviously wants to know how strong Ryder is. True, I do have something of an assessment. Maybe it's because I formed a contract with the servant, or maybe it's the power of the command spells. She may not be my servant, but I have some understanding of her abilities since I've seen her fight. Ryder was an especially strong servant. She's not as strong as Saber. If they fight one-on-one, I don't see Saber losing.
そうなんだ。ならちゃんと勝算はあるんじゃない。
I see. So you do have a chance at
シ
winning.
ンジは魔術師じゃないから、ライダーはマスターからの支援を受けられない。必然的にセイバーとライダーの一騎打ちになるものね。
Shinji's not a maid, so Ryder can't get any support from her master, so it'll come down to a duel between Saber and Ryder. Tosuka's right. As long as Shinji's a master, Ryder has to fight on her own. Saber shouldn't be at a disadvantage, but
何よ気の乗らない顔して。何か問題でもあるっていうの？
why the long face? There a problem? Yeah, listen. Even though Saber had Ryder cornered and she's way superior in combat, Ryder managed to escape with Shinji. I think it was Ryder's noble phantasm, the arrow of light that tore through the hallway. If Saber hadn't shoved me to the ground, that wave of destruction completely annihilated me. If that was Ryder's ace in the hole, we shouldn't take her lightly, even if she is weaker.
つまりライダーはライダー本人より所有する宝具の方が優れてるタイプってわけね。
So that means Ryder is one of those types whose noble phantasm is more powerful than the serpent itself.
でセイバー、シローはともかくあなたならライダーの宝具が何であるか分かったんじゃない？目の前で使われたんだから見当ぐらいはついてるんでしょ？
So Saber, you must have been able to tell what Ryder's noble phantasm was, right? You should have some idea since it was displayed in front of you.
面目ありません。シロを守ることに精一杯で、私もあれが何であるか確認することはできなかった。
I must apologize. I was so intent on protecting Shiro, I was not able to determine what it
そんな
was.
ことに気を割いていたら、私もシロもあの一撃に巻き込まれていたでしょう。
Had I taken the time to do so, Shiro and I would have been caught up in it.
巻き込まれたって何？ライダーの宝具って飛び道具なの？
Caught up in it? Is Ryder's noble phantasm a projectile?
それに近いものでした。分類的にはリンの使う魔術に近い。あれは私の剣やランサーの槍のような対人宝具ではないのでしょう。
It certainly seemed to be similar. It certainly seems similar to one. It can likely be classified as something close to your magecraft. That was not an anti-personal noble phantasm like my sword or lance of spear.
私の魔術に近いってそれこそ変よ。
Close to my magecraft? That doesn't sound
セイ
right.
バーの対魔術は神業じゃない。現代の魔術じゃまずあなたに傷を負わせることはできない。そのあなたがかわさなくちゃいけない魔術なんてそれは。
Your magic resistance is god tier. Modern magecraft just can't hurt you. If there was magecraft you actually needed to avoid, it would be...
はい。神秘はより強い神秘の前に無効化される。
Yes, mystics would have to be nullified with even stronger mystics.
私の鎧を通ることができる神秘は、あなたたちの言う魔法か、神域に住む幻想種だけです。
The only type of mystics that can penetrate my armor would be what you call true magic, or phantasms of the divine realm.
魔法使い。ライダーは魔術師だっていうの？セイバ
True magician? Are you trying to say that Raider is a mage?
いいえ、それほどの魔力は感じませんでした。
No, I did not feel that much magical energy from
彼
her.
女はライダーです。魔法使いがいるとすれば、それはキャスターだけでしょう。ライダーの宝具は、おそらく別のものだと思います。
She is Ryder. If there is a true magician around, it can only be Costa. Ryder's noble phantasm is likely something different. Saber's answer gets a sigh of relief from Tosuka. I don't quite get what's going on, though. Saber, is your armor that strong? You say only true magic can penetrate it, so does that mean Lancer's Sky Bulk is true magic?
ええ、確かにランサーのゲイボルクは魔法に近い呪いですが、リン、 シローに説明してあげてくれますか？
Yes, you're right. Once the Sky Bulk is a curse, doesn't power to true magic. Rin, would you care to explain this to Shiro?
私？まあいいけど、要するにシローはセイバーは魔法じゃないと傷つかないと勘違いしているわけね。
Fine. Let's just get to the chase. You believe Saber can only be injured by true magic, right? That's not what I'm saying. But I just thought it was amazing that her armor is that strong.
そりゃすごいわよ。セイバーに限らずサーバントってのはみんな英霊なのよ。霊体ってこともあるけど、まっとうな手段じゃ傷一つつけられない。サーバントはそれ自体が神秘だから。
Of course it's amazing. All servants are heroic spirits, not just Saber. They're spirits, so they can't be harmed by ordinary means since servants themselves are mystics.
物理的な手段でサーバントを傷つけられるのは同じ英霊であるサーバントだけ。逆に言えばサーバント同士ならただのペーパーナイフでもセイバーを傷つけることはできる。
Only fellow servants, since they're also heroic spirits, can physically harm other servants. On the flip side, so long as we're dealing with a servant, they could wound Saber even if they grab something like a paper cutter. So what you're saying is that Saber's armor isn't invulnerable when she's dealing with another servant.
そうね。けどセイバー自身接近戦の技量が優れているから、白兵戦ではまずセイバーに傷は負わせられない。
Yes, but Saber is skilled at close combat. There's no way she'd be wounded in hand-to-hand
残
combat.
った手段は遠距離からの攻撃、魔術っていう飛び道具になるわけだけど、セイバーは騎士のくせにとんでもない対魔力を持ってるから、大抵の魔術は弾かれてしまうのよ。
The only other method would be to attack her from a long distance, like with a magecraft projectile. But Saber has, despite being a knight, remarkable magic resistance, so she can deflect most magecraft.
バッドラックに代表される呪いなんてまず届かないし、魔力を矢として放つ直接干渉も効かない。
Curses, the epitome of bad luck, can't touch her. One more direct intervention, like firing magical energy at her like arrows, also wouldn't work.
セイバーを倒したかったら真正面からの切り合いで彼女を任さなくちゃダメってわけ。
If someone wants to defeat Saber, they'll have to fight her head on and beat her that way. Saber listens silently to Tussik's explanation. She never interrupts her, probably because everything she's saying is true. What the hell? It's like cheating. Someone would try to go up against Saber with Magecraft because they can't beat her in single combat, but if Magecraft itself is useful against her, what can they do? That sounds unfair.
そうね。けどそのセイバーだって白兵戦で絶対に負けないというわけでもないでしょ。
That may be true, but it doesn't mean Saber is unbeatable in hand-to-hand
バー
combat.
サーカーは力だけならセイバーを上回ってるし、ランサーだって白兵戦において必殺の槍を持ってる。
Saber doesn't like that. I just noticed a little angry mark on her head. Berserker is much stronger than Saber, and even Lancer has a spear, which can be
今
fatal.
話してるライダーだってセイバーを出し抜くほどの宝具を持ってたんだから、セイバーも完璧ってわけじゃないわ。
And we were just talking about Ryder having a noble phantasm that could beat even Saber, so we're not saying she's perfect.
私たちだってセイバーを倒す方法はあるもの。
Even we have ways to defeat
単に
Saber.
セイバーの耐魔力を上回る魔術を持ってくるか、サーバントが使っている武器を借りて寝ている間に首を切るとか。サーバントの武器ならサーバント自身と同じ霊格なんだから、傷をつけることは可能なはずよ。
We just need to use Magecraft that exceeds Saber's magic resistance, or borrow a weapon wielded by a servant to cut her head off while she's sleeping. Servants' weapons are spiritual too, so they should be able to hurt her. It's an annoying example, but I get it. Hold on, Tosuka. We probably shouldn't be talking about things like that in front of her. I see. So it's not that Ryder's noble phantasm was exceptional, Saber just went on the defensive because it was a servant that was attacking.
わけないでしょ。セイバーが守りに徹するのなら、ライダー自身じゃ何をしたって追い詰めることなんて不可能よ。ライダー本人がそう優れた英霊じゃないのなら、彼女が宝具を使ったところでたかが知れているし。
You got it wrong. If Saber was focusing on defending Ryder, Ryder wouldn't be able to finish her off alone. If Ryder isn't a particularly exceptional heroic spirit, it wouldn't amount to much, even with her noble phantasm in the mix.
そうでしょ、セイバー。ライダーの宝具はライダー自身の能力とは関係のない武器なのよね。
You agree, Saber? You think Ryder's noble phantasm is unrelated to her abilities, right?
おそらくライダーの技や魔力に頼らない自動的な武装、宝具そのものに効果があるものだと思います。
Most likely, yes. I believe it was an autonomous weapon that does not rely on Ryder's skill, and that it has an effect on the noble
魔
phantasm
術か
itself.
幻想種か、
It's either mage castle or phantasmal.
どちらにせよ、あの魔法陣から放たれたものは圧倒的でした。直撃を受けた場合、生き延びられるサーバントなどいないでしょう。
Whatever it is, the intensity from the magic cycle is overwhelming. I do not think many servants could survive a direct strike.
そうなの？数値的にどれくらい？
Really? And by how much?
あな
Quantifiably?
たたち風に言うのなら A プラスといったところでしょうか。私個人の推測に過ぎないので断定はできませんが。
If I were to describe it in your terms, I would rank it up perhaps A+. This is a matter of opinion though, so I'm not certain.
A プラス？何それ？魔法一歩手前じゃない。
A+? That's one step below true magic!
そんなの使われてよく学校が吹っ飛ばなかったってもんだわ。
I can't believe it didn't just blow the entire school to bits!
単純に破壊するだけの宝具というわけではないのでしょう。もともとは他の用途がある宝具なのではないでしょうか。
It must not be a truly destructive noble phantasm. It may have originally served a different purpose.
そう。だとしても厄介ね。セイバーの話じゃ A 判定どころじゃないし、瞬間的な攻撃力ならサーバント中最高ってことになるのかしら。
Maybe, but this is the problem. According to Saber, it's beyond an A rank in terms of raw power that attack might be one of the strongest out of all the servants.
まあ確かに攻守ともに優れた宝具のようでしたが、それより私の宝具の方が。
Yeah, so it did seem like it was a noble phantasm that excels in both offense and defense. I wasn't my noble phantasm more. Her face is indecipherable. I don't know what just happened. She doesn't look amused. Saber, did Tosaka say something that worries you?
あ、いえ、別にそういうわけではないというか、本当はどちらが強いかなど追求するのは騎士にあるまじき行いというか。
Oh no, it's nothing. But I do believe it's inappropriate for a knight to ask another for their opinion if he was stronger. She's acting strange. She seems embarrassed by her own actions and starts to mutter under her breath. Oh, whatever. By the way, I thought I heard you say something weird. Something about Saber and Lancer being anti-personnel or something.
対人宝具ですか。いえ、言葉通りの意味ですが、私の風王結界やランサーのゲイボルクはあくまで人を倒すための武装です。
Do you mean an anti-personnel noble phantasm? Well, it is what the word suggests. My invisible air and Sky Borg are armaments that are strictly used to defeat
いかに
people.
強力な魔力、呪いを帯びていたところで、その用途は対人の域を出るものではありません。
No matter how powerful the magical energy or curses it may possess, it cannot be used against something else. Well, I guess that makes sense. Her invisible sword is definitely useful in battle, but that's only effective against people. If you chop firewood with a sacred sword, whether you can see the blade or not isn't going to affect how quickly you can chop wood. It's the same with Lancer's Guide Bolt. Even a cursed spear that always strikes the heart is just a sharp spear if you use it against a boulder or a house. So that's why it's called an anti-personnel noble phantasm. Which means Ryder's noble phantasm is...
大軍宝具ってことになるわね。そういえば父さんに聞いたことがあったわ。宝具には対人に優れたもの、対軍に優れたものがあるって。
It would be an anti-army noble phantasm. Actually, I heard from Father about this once. Certain noble phantasms are designated anti-personnel and others are as anti-army.
簡単に言って、対人宝具は単数制限のない拳銃で、 対軍砲具ってのは一発限りのミサイルってことね。
The simple way to understand it is this. An anti-personnel noble phantasm is like... The simple way to understand it is this. An anti-personnel noble phantasm is like a gun with unlimited ammo. But an anti-army noble phantasm is like a missile you can only launch once.
ライダーの砲具は強力だけど、その分使用にかなりの制限があるんじゃないかしら。少なくともセイバーの剣みたいにいつも見えないなんて永続的な砲具じゃない。
Raider's noble phantasm may be powerful, but it probably has limited uses. At the very least, it doesn't generate a continuous effect like Saber's sword being invisible. Hold on a minute. A gun versus a missile, there's no contest. Sure, Saber's invisible sword is awesome, but if she goes up against a ridiculous noble phantasm like that, she'll be dead before she can even swing her sword. So you're saying that if we're going to fight Raider, we need to defeat her before she deploys her noble phantasm.
でしょうね。砲具の打ち合いになったら勝ち目はない。
Most likely, you've got no chance if it becomes a battle of noble
ライダーと
phantasms.
シンジを探すって言うんなら、それだけは頭に入れておきなさい。
If you're going to fight Raider and Shinji, you should at least keep that in
大前
mind.
提として、ライダーが砲具を使う前に倒すこと。
The biggest requirement is for you to defeat Raider before she deploys her noble
戦
phantasm.
いを長引かせれば長引かせるだけ、こっちが不利になるから。
The longer you draw out the fight, the more of a disadvantage you'll be at.
もしくは私が戦っている間にライダーのマスターを倒せばいい。あのマスターに戦闘手段はないのだから、そちらの方が確実かもしれません。
Or you can defeat Raider's master while I battle Raider. He's not able to fight, so that might be the better plan. That's what we've come up with. Since we have no strategy to deal with Raider's noble phantasm, we just need to defeat Raider before she uses it. Whatever noble phantasms other servants have, we still don't want to have to deal with Raiders. Thanks for the warning, Tosuka. We're going to find Shinji, but what do you want to do today, Tosuka? Will you stay and watch the house?
そうね。あなたたちがそう言うなら、私たちもシンジを探してもいいんだけど。まあ、やめとくわ。
If you insisted, we could have come with you to look for Shinji, but I'll
敵はライ
pass.
ダーだけじゃないし、私たちはもともとバーサーカーを倒すために手を組んだんだしね。
Raider isn't the only enemy. We can't forget that we teamed up initially to beat
シロが
Berserker.
シンジを追っている間、私は私でやることがあるから。
So while you're out pursuing Shinji, I have something else to do. Jessica stands up with a frosty smile.
それじゃあね。いい結果を期待しているわ。
See you, and I look forward to hearing some good news. Saber and I head out together, leaving Tosuka at home. It's 7:30 in the morning. The hilly road is extremely quiet. The road is usually packed with students going to school, but there aren't that many people around today.
学校は休校だそうですね。
I heard the school will be closed for a
死
while.
者が出なかったとはいえ、大半の生徒は未だ立ち上がれる体ではないということですか。
There may not have been any deaths, but a majority of students are still bedbound. Their citizens look like some severe malnutrition, so it should be a few days before they're up and around. But those are the lucky ones. There are still some whose injuries will last a lifetime.
タイガも病院に運ばれたと聞きます。見舞いに行かずともいいのですか、シロ。
Oh, here Taiga was among those sent to the hospital. You need to go visit her, Shiro. Yeah, I hear Fujini is just fatigued. I was told not to worry about her and just study at home. Before we left, I phoned the Fujimura house and asked how Fujini was doing. I want to go visit, but I need to hold off for now.
では探索に専念するのですね。それはいいのですが、シロに当てはあるのですか。
So you're going to concentrate on investigating. That's fine, but do you have any
私は
leads?
サーバントの気配を読み取れますが、それも近づかなければわかりません。何か手がかりがなければ、探し出すのは難しいのではないでしょうか。
Well, I can sense the presence of servants, but only when they're nearby. Unless you have some kind of lead, it will be difficult to locate them. Yeah, it'd be hard if Shinji were just sitting around doing nothing, but I know him, and I don't see him just keeping quiet after what happened yesterday. He's not the type to just sit back and take a beating.
では、ライダーのマスターは不 再び結界を張ろうとすると。
So you believe Ryder's master plans to create a bounded field? No doubt about it. He's like me. He can't provide his servant with magical energy. If he wants to get revenge on me, he'll need a lot of magical energy. Which means it might not be so hard to
ライ
find
ダーの
him.
マスターを探すのではなく、結界を探すのですね。
So rather than looking for Ryder's master, we are going to look for a bounded field. Yeah, we may not be able to detect the master, but we should be able to detect a bounded field on that scale. And we'll be able to pinpoint that site too. We just need to find a big building that draws a large crowd.
驚いた。やりますね、シロ。
This is a surprise. That's brilliant, Shiro. I do have a brain, you know. If I wasn't confident about fighting them, I wouldn't be saying this. Yeah, I'm confident. The bounded field is one thing, but there's a point to us walking around like this too. Shinji probably can't leave me alone anymore, then I can leave him alone. I head to Shinji's house just in case. I have Saber check for Ryder's presence. She finds nothing. Well, he's not the sort to just roll over and hide in his house after what's happened. Let's go. If Shinji's going to create a bounded field, it wouldn't be here. It'll be in Shinto. Let's check all the office buildings there. I call Saber over and leave to leave the Mato
いいので
house.
すか、シロ。ここはさくらの家なのでしょう。
Shira, this is Sakura's house, is it
立
not?
ち寄ったのですから、声をかけては。それぐらいは余裕があると思いますが。
Since you're here, do you not at least intend to say hello? I believe we have time enough for that. I am worried about Sakura. According to Tosuka, Sakura was just weakened and luckily wasn't injured beyond that. If it were up to me, I'd like to see her and take care of her the way she's always taken care of me. But I won't do it. As long as this war is going on, I shouldn't see her. I don't want to get her involved in any of this. Besides, I can't possibly face her when I'm about to head out to fight her brother. Should the worst happen and I actually kill Shinji, I'll never be able to face her again. I shouldn't leave any loose ends like that. It's best for me, and I'm sure it's best for Sakura too. We check every building we find. Of course, we start with the big ones, but so far nothing. I wipe the sweat from my brow and force my leaden limbs to keep moving. I try to calm my labored breath, but by just taking a moment to rest.
シロ、何か異常でもあり。シロ、こちらへ。
Shira, this way. Hold it, this is the park. There's still buildings we haven't looked.
それは後にしてください。今はこちらが最優先です。
Please let that matter wait a moment. This is more important. Something must have caught her attention. Her tone is stern and she pulls it towards the park. What's going on? Why are we here? There's nothing here, even you know that.
いいですから、そこのベンチに座ってください。話はその後で聞きます。
Please just sit on this bench. I will hear what you have to say once you have done so. She's intense about this, so I reluctantly sit down, and then... For a moment, I almost feel faint. I hold my head with one hand. My forehead is damp with sweat and my breathing is labored even though I'm sitting down. Hey, wait a minute. Why should I be sweating like this in the dead of winter? This is weird, I don't know why I'm so exhausted. As soon as I say that, I realize what's going on. I'm not exhausted. My wounds haven't completely healed, so they're tingling. This is unreal. No matter how much I try, I can't get my breathing under control. My body feels heavy and my legs refuse to take my weight.
ようやく自分の体に気がついたようですね、シロ。
I see you finally realize your condition, Shiro. She's mad. I don't blame her. I was the one who's just searching for Shinji, but here I am, sitting on the bench. Sorry, I'll get up soon. Just give me a moment.
私が注意しているのはそんなことではありません。
That's not what I'm trying to point out.
どうやら、あなたには何を言っても無駄のようですね。
Nothing seems to get through to you. I can see she's mad, but I don't understand is why. Saber, you need to be clear with me or else I won't know what you're trying to get at.
わからないのなら語る必要はないでしょう。
If you don't know, there's no point in telling
い
you.
いですから、シロはそこで休んでいてください。
Please just sit here, Shiro.
一人で休むのが嫌なら、私もお付き合いしますから。
If you will not rest on your own, then I shall join you. Saber sits right next to me. The bench is not that big. She's sitting close enough for me that our shoulders might touch if one of us leans over even a little. Wait, Saber. We don't have time to rest. We didn't come here to play around.
遊びになど来ていません。休憩も戦いのうちです。文句を言うのでしたら、まずその呼吸を整えてからにしてください。
We are indeed not simply here. Fuck. We are indeed not here simply to loiter. Even in battle, you must rest. If you have a grievance, I suggest you air it after you've caught your breath. Well, you told me to catch my breath, but sure, I'm totally worn out and I can barely breathe. But having her so close makes my heart go absolutely crazy. And
シロ、人の話を聞いていますか？今まで体に無理をさせてきたのですから、まずは肩の力を抜いて落ち着いてください。気が散っていては体が休まらないのですから。
oh, you listening to me? You've been pushing yourself this whole time. What you must do now is try to loosen up and calm down. You cannot rest properly if you continue on, distracted as you are. Yeah, but if she wants me to be calm, it really helped if she kept her distance. I don't know how Saber feels, but I can't help her but see her as a girl around my own age. Well, she may actually be younger, but she's still a girl. She's beyond beautiful. No guy could stay calm this close to her, and I'm certainly no exception.
シロ、気のせいでしょうか。先ほどより顔色が悪くなってきた気がするのですが。
Is it my imagination, or are you even paler than before? No, I'm not flustered or
それな
anything.
らいいのですが、やはり横になった方がいいのでしょうか。この辺りで休めるところといったら。
If you say so, but perhaps you should lie down. Is there a place to lie down around here? She looks around. Oh, what are the odds of there just being some random dude lying across a nearby bench? Girlfriend lost his pillow in a park that's usually deserted. And Saber glances at the pair of lovebirds. She's obviously thinking,
シロ、気分が悪いのでしたら横に。
Shiro, if you do not feel well, then you should lie. I'm fine. I just need to sit for a minute and I'll be better. Don't you worry about me. Just leave me alone. I turn away from her and close my eyes, anything to keep our eyes from locking. Saying calming thoughts. I just have to keep taking deep breaths and trying not to think about her being right next to me. It took a night for the fire to die down. The searing, roaring red wall eventually disappeared. All that remained was a charred field, strewn with smoldering blackened lumber. I remember that while I lay there on the ground, the sound of it reminded me of sparklers. The sky was getting cloudy. It should rain soon, that will help put out the fires. I could hardly even breathe as I lay there, staring dazedly at the sky. Charred remains hemmed me in on all sides. Burns cover almost my entire body, and there's an especially painful sensation around my chest. My chest is gouged out. I could probably touch my own insides. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. I didn't collapse because I got tired. Since my numb body was trying to do me a favor by letting me rest, I collapsed because I was hurt too much to keep moving at all. That's why I ended up just accepting it calmly, no panic. I knew I wasn't going to make it. Everyone else was dead anyway, so I wasn't scared. Staring up at the cloudy sky, I felt myself just sort of fading away. Yet, in the haze of fading consciousness, I decided that as long as I was alive, I'd try calling for help right till the end. Wait, something's off. I shouldn't be remembering this pain in my chest. I jerked myself upright, and took myself open to check myself over. Yeah, I figured as much. There's no wound. There's no scar on my chest. The respiratory distress that burn caused did almost kill me, but I didn't take some massive chest wound. If something like that had happened, even Kiritsugu wouldn't have been able to help me. But more importantly... It's already night? Did I fall asleep, Saber?
はい。よく眠っているようでしたので起こしませんでしたが、その会話あったようですね。先ほどに比べて、シロの顔色は良くなっていますから。
Yes, you slept deeply, so I did not wish to wake you. Since that helped, though, you've regained some of your color. It's not very nice. Sure, it might have been my fault for passing out, but you could have woken me up. I told you we don't have any time to rest.
休息は必要な行為です。それにシロが眠っていたのは1時間程度ですから、そう問題はないでしょう。
But you must rest, and you did so only for about an hour, so it should not be a problem. It's just the benefit of hindsight. What would you have done if I hadn't woken
そう
up?
ですね。あまり変わりはないでしょう。日が落ちて寒くなってきましたから、そろそろ声をかけようと思っていたところです。
I don't believe our situation has changed much, actually. I've been about to wake you up since the sun is setting and it's growing colder. I do admit I feel a lot better. I get up from the bench and start walking through the field. There's no trace of what this field once looked like. No trace of when it used to be a residential district, nor any trace of when it was cast in that hellish red light. For some reason, I'm irritated that I dreamed that scene just because I slept here.
シロ、何か問題でもあるのですか？
No, I was just thinking that if I was going to rest, it should have been somewhere else. Too many bad
嫌な
memories
思い出。
here.
シロはこの場所に縁があったのですか？
Bad memories? Do you have some link to this place? Oh, right, I never told you. I used to live around here a long time ago. 10 years ago, actually. There was a giant fire. It burned down my house with my parents inside. That's when my old man saved me. Later, he adopted me.
では、あなたは？
So that means you. Yeah, I'm not Kiritsuku's biological child, and I guess I'm not without ties to the Holy Grail War either. I heard that this place was the final battleground during the last war. It's kind of ironic to think that the survivor of the site turned into a master. I walk through the field. It's been 10 years, but it still seems like the ground hasn't recovered enough for even grass to grow. Maybe all the resentment of the people who died here seeped into the land itself.
シロ、あなたが犠牲者を出すまいとするのは、それが理由ですか？
Shira, is that why you're so adamant about not allowing innocents to be harmed?
あなた自身が聖杯戦争の犠牲者だからこそ、自分のような犠牲者は出したくないと。
As a victim of the Holy Grail War yourself, you're hoping to avoid creating any other victims. Well, now that you mentioned it, I guess I can see people coming to that conclusion. Surprisingly, I've never thought about it like that. I'm not sure. You have a good point, but I think it's something simpler than that. 10 years ago, I was so happy when Kiritsugu saved me. I didn't feel anything else at the time, and I think I just aspired to be like him one day too. Yeah, I was just happy. Words can't even begin to describe what I felt when I called out for help and actually got it, but at the same time, the happier I was, the more guilty I felt. It didn't feel right though, knowing that my wish was the only one to be granted. My old man saved me, but no one else was saved and they couldn't do anything about it. Everyone wished for salvation, but only my wish was granted. Only I was saved, and in exchange, everyone else died. And that's why I have to take responsibility. But I can't take back something that's already happened. If I want to do something for the people who died, I should focus on preventing what's to come. I will not allow another catastrophe like the one 10 years ago. If something like that ever happened again, I'd never be able to face the people who got sacrificed that time. At least that's how I see it. More importantly, we need to go back to looking for Shinji. I feel better now. We need to hurry up to rebuild if we haven't gotten to yet. Besides, there should be fewer people around at night. If Shinji wants to attack us, this will be the time. So if our plan is to be bait to lure him out, it's time to get to it. Let's go. Let's get back to the office district. What's wrong? Did you forget something?
いいえ、ただ今朝のことを思い出していました。
I was just recalling what happened this morning.
体の傷を治してからライダーのマスターを探すべきだと言った私に、シローは順番が違うと言いました。
I suggested you focus on healing your wounds before going out looking for Ryder's master, but he told me our priorities were mixed up.
シローは昨日も同じ言葉を口にした。以前から感じてはいましたが、その時に確信したのです。
You mentioned the same thing yesterday. I believed this for some time, but now I'm certain.
あなたには自分を助けようとする気がないのだと。
You do not value your own life. It's like she just stares at me and lays it out like it's a sin or something.
あなたは自身より他人を優先している。それは立派ですが、それではあなたはいつかきっと後悔する。
You put others ahead of yourself. Admirable that might be, you'll one day regret doing so.
シローはもっと自分を大切にするべきだ。
You should value yourself more, Shira. She cuts past me.
行きましょう。確かにここにいてはあなたに負担をかける。
Let's go. Being here is clearly no good for you. She heads toward the office district. I try to call out to her, but I can't stop her. What are you saying? That's what I want to ask her, but the words just don't come. There's no point I'm not trying to help. There's no way I'm not trying to help myself. It can't be true, but I somehow can't think of a single thing to say to argue with her. We make our way through the town after dark. It's a little past 8. The station is at its most crowded hour, and Saber and I stared at the map of the town.
主だった建物は回りましたね。他に行くべき場所はありますか？
I checked most of the main buildings around this area. Is there anywhere else we can go? Let's see, there's a factory a little further out from here. We should probably go check it out since people gather there. Not that factories are exactly his style. We do make conversation now, but it's still hard for me to look her in the eye. I think our conversation from earlier is still stuck in my head. She's acting like it didn't happen, which bothers me even more. What about you, Saber? Can you sense Ryder's presence?
いえ、感じません。彼女とは一度戦っていますから、近くにいれば知覚できるのですが。
No, I cannot. I fought her once, so I should be able to sense her. An odd feeling prickles my skin. Even I can feel the wave of magical energy that washes over us. There's no way that Saber can't.
シロ、言うまでもないと思うのですが。
Shira, I do not believe I need to tell you, but I know. Are they close, Saber?
まだそこまでの距離ではないようです。ですが、確実に見られている。この魔力は私たちに対する挑発でしょう。
No, they're not close enough, but we're definitely being watched. This wave of magical energy is likely an attempt to provoke us. We're being watched, that means they've fallen into our trap. Releasing so much magical energy is an obvious attempt to lure us out. So, is this Ryder? My mind changes gears. The awkwardness between Saber and earlier
魔
disappears.
力をたどります。注意してください、マスター。
I will check the source of magical energy. Please be careful, Master. I nod. The wave of bloodlust I feel stinging at my skin is coming from the direction of the office district as it slowly empties of people. Today, of all days, there will be nobody working overtime. Most of the lights in the windows of the building seen as the heart of Shindo are dark. There aren't many people on the sidewalks, and we have a pretty clear view of the building. I don't see anyone suspicious. If he's anywhere, he'll be up ahead. Maybe in the park we just left. I feel the bloodlust growing more intense. The enemies nearby, or more like... A chill runs up my spine. Bro, Slender Man is near! Even I can feel this aura of bloodlust, and we're probably already in enemy territory. Saber, be careful, something's not right.
ええ、シロの感覚は正しい。このように人目のある場所で仕掛けてくるとは思いませんが、相手が相手です。用心に越したことはありません。
You're correct. I do not believe they would attack us with so many others present, but it's difficult to be certain with this foe. It's best to be cautious. It's definitely not Shinji. I don't think it's Ilya. It probably isn't Ilya. We've seen Assassin. We haven't. I think this might be Caster showing up now, or because spoiler alert, I know who Caster's master is. So I don't think he'd be around here. What else are we missing? I think there are a couple more servants we haven't seen yet. Let's see. We both nod in silent agreement and make our way toward the park. It's probably best to ignore the oppressive sense of a knife being pressed in my throat. Shinji and Ritter are nowhere around the office district. If they're going to attack, it's probably going to be somewhere in the park, where there won't be anyone else around.
シロ、
I run towards Saber. He rushes towards me like a bolt of lightning. And blocks a blow aimed straight at my head. Ryder? Or who is it? I look up. A massive building tower is overhead. Clinging to the side of the building is some kind of spider. Is Ryder. Okay. Her hair is long enough to cover her entire body, her limbs supple and white. The masked woman is indeed our enemy, Ryder. She licks her lips as she stares down at me. The hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. There's no mistaking it. She came spiraling down from the top of the building, aiming to take my head in a sneak attack from our blind spot. Saber lands on the ground. In the time it took for her to rush to block Ryder's attack, she summoned her armor. Saber, she's... I'll go after her. Please stay here. Go after her? How? Saber kicks off from the ground. She disappears into the sky with a glint of silvery armor. What? Ryder, clinging to the side of the building like that is absurd enough, but Saber leaping skyward in pursuit of her is just outright ridiculous. No, they're servants. No one logic doesn't apply here. Like Ryder, Saber moves along the side of the building, striking her with dizzying speed. The two shadows clash and cross against each other. The sight of the two of them fighting overhead, darting around the building as they climb into the air is like watching two fighter jets. All the while well, we need to find Shinji is what we need to do. It's probably best not... Saber can beat Ryder as long as she doesn't use her Noble Phantasm. We know that. And Saber can probably finish it quickly enough. What we need to do is find Shinji, not... Probably... Fuck. No, not that one. God damn it. Like, it never gives you, like, the obvious answer. The obvious answer is to go try and look for Shinji. I mean, if... There's so many ways to look at this. If we wait around, he'll probably show up to try and... No. He's scared of us now, so I don't think he's not gonna try to come and gloat. Which is what so... I feel like following Saber is like the worst thing to do right now, but I feel like following Saber entails finding Shinji, which is what we need to do, because we need to take care of him while she deals with Ryder. So following Saber, even though it's dangerous, I think this is what we have to do. I can't just watch it do nothing. The uneven footing prevents Saber from gaining ground on Ryder. The two clash in the air, rushing up to the rooftop. Oh, the rooftop! If Ryder came flying down from the top of the building, chances are Shinji is there. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Either we defeat her quickly or we defeat her master, but whichever it is, it has to be before she deploys her Noble Phantasm. While she's fighting Ryder, there's only one thing I should be doing. Thank you! Thank you for being smart for once. Interlude. What's Totsuka up to? Here we go. The two shadows climb upwards. They continue to distance themselves from the ground, gaining more and more altitude. Neither needs proper footing, they just kick their way up along the wall. As it happens, they clash countless times, all before they ever reach the top. Were anyone watching from the ground, they'd probably think they were seeing a game of pinball. Though I doubt they'd be able to follow the two with the naked eye. It's like a deadly circus act. The collisions are barely discernible, invisible to normal human beings. Saber had no desire to be a part of this crazy circus act. She may be a servant, but she can't fly through the sky. She might be able to run along the building's wall, but that's it. There's no better than this is no better than a free fall for her. She alternates between kicking off the building before she loses momentum and slowing to let gravity take hold of her. It may be no exaggeration to say she's falling into the sky. Now that she's started, she'll continue all the way up to the rooftop, and in that entire journey, if her opponent hits her, she'll be hurled to the ground, but it seems the laws of gravity do not apply to the enemy, to the opponent Saber has to defeat. The streak of purple shoots across the side of the building in pursuit of Saber while she focuses on reaching the roof. Gravity has no hold on the riders. She leaps around effortlessly, moving in from all directions, up, down, left, right, to strike at Saber. Her long hair trails out behind her like a comet tail, and she looks like a snake wrapping itself around a log. Saber's feet touch the wall. She leans sideways and kicks the wall, aiming for the edge of the building. Saber suddenly shoots at a right angle to her previous trajectory. Not one of the attacks finds its mark. Ryder is simply no match for Saber's raw power. Saber shakes Ryder off with a single kick, then kicks upward once again when she reaches the building's side. She aims herself upward. If Ryder is like a servant coiling around the building, Saber is like a bursting spark. But it looks like Ryder might have predicted her moves. The distance between them remains the same. Ryder continues along the side of the building, not letting Saber open any distance between them. She strikes every time Saber has to take a step. Saber fends Ryder off with her blade and jumps to put some space between them. Though she's able to fend off Ryder's coiling pursuit, there's only so much she can do in the air. Where before there had been no contest in their combat ability, they are now more evenly matched. Neither has an attack, but that can bring this to a close. Now, Ryder is withholding her own deadliest attack. Every time Saber leads at Ryder, Ryder fends off her attack, but never counterattacks. Ryder is only keeping Saber at bay as she makes her way to the rooftop. Do you not intend to fight, Ryder? Saber curses at her cowardly enemy. To a knight like Saber, a fight like this is as good as an insult. Such a thing should involve both opponents giving their all in their clash. By that belief, Ryder's actions are disrespectful. It appears you do not like heights, Saber. Ryder's voice is cool. She's right. Saber is clearly not used to fighting in the air. This is probably a first for her, actually. Knights are meant to fight on solid ground. They're not supposed to cling to walls like her opponents. Your proud sword won't do you any good here. But don't worry, I'll give you your rest soon. Ryder moves upward, her manner inviting. Cease set this whole thing up. Saber understands that though. At the end of this circus, yes, Ryder's ideal positioning must be waiting up above. Ryder can't use her trump cards so readily, which is why she's luring her prey. To a place where will be no interruptions, so they can settle this with her ultimate attack. As soon as she reaches the roof, she'll be in a difficult position. If Ryder's noble phantasm is exactly what Saber thinks it is, she won't have any defense against it. But there's no turning back now. She can't just ignore Ryder or her master. This isn't about defeating an enemy in the Holy Grail War. Saber must defeat Ryder here and now to protect her master, because she has no other choice. The whole situation must be absolutely dumbfounding for her. She's probably thought more than once about not wanting to push her master to do anything crazy. The two continue getting altitude. Their rapid clashes ring out against the building as the battle approaches its final destination. Damn, why does it only go up to the 40th floor? I rush up the stairs while I complain. I manage to enter the building from the back, but the elevators go all the way to the roof. I have to run up the remaining 10 flights of stairs. I climb the stairs as fast as I can. I'm not sure how long it's been since Saber and I split up. Probably less than 10 minutes, but that's too long. You never know how or when a battle will end. Even Saber's not perfect. She could make a mistake and get into trouble. Before that happens, if I can make Shinji use up his command spells, Ryder might stop fighting. The harder I run, the more my still healing body aches. Running around the building and then up the stairs has left me out of breath. But I don't slow down, no, I speed up. Something about this has me worried. I'm not sure why, but my chest hurts. It's not a physical pain, something that's warning me of danger ahead. Saber can't win. There's something on this rooftop that shouldn't be faced. I try to shake this feeling off and focus on climbing the stairs. The wind is strong. The moment I open the door, the city's nightscape fills my field of vision. Scorch marks pock the concrete, and at its center, the heart of the building, scarred rooftop, Saber is on her knees. Saber! Why are you here? Saber's shoulders heave with her labored breathing. When I rush her, I notice something strange floating up above me, or rather, the sheer overwhelming amount of magical energy forces me to take notice. I look up towards the sky. Flapping wings. I hear flapping wings. Something a paler and more blinding white than the light of the moon hovers over me. What the fuck? It's a legendary mystic I've only heard about in myth. The moment she reaches the rooftop, Saber confronts her opponent's true form. She leans on her sword, exhausted, and looks up. The white light rushes toward her. Saber unleashes the wind that shrouds her sword, using it to create an invisible barrier. She goes flying backward. Her attempt to block the onrushing Pegasus fails to even slow it down. The force of the impact knocks Saber back, sending her brutally into the ground. There's no time to be lying down. Pegasus turns midair and resumes its glide without so much as pausing. She can't possibly brace herself. Her only option is to try to evade. Even if she manages that, the after effects of its passage will chip away at her defenses. If this heats up, it will hit her eventually. The white light streaks down toward her. Pegasus sails far overhead and knocks Saber off backward before sweeping back into the skies. Saber can't possibly reach it. There are none walls she can kick off of, not up here. Even if she could, there's no way she could actually reach Pegasus. Despite her disadvantage, Saber waits for an opportunity to fight back. Pegasus it may be, but it's a living creature, so she should still be able to kill it if she can't just get a chance. Her only opportunity for victory is if Ryder makes a mistake at the reins. This is a surprise. You're tougher than I expected. Ryder's voice comes from high above. Saber grips her sword tightly as she looks up.
ですが、それに意味はありますか？あなたには勝ち目などない。散るしかないのなら、潔く消えなさい。
But is there any point to any of this? You have no chance of winning. If you're to disappear, I suggest you at least do it gracefully. Ryder's voice is calm. Even so, I hear just the slightest bit of joy in it.
幻想種だとは睨んでいましたが、まさかそんなものを持ち出してくるとは思いませんでした、ライダー。
Well, I expected you to have a phantasmal species, but I didn't expect you to have this, Ryder. A phantasmal species. The name suggests refers to creatures which exist within an illusion. Humanoids like fairies and giants, demonic creatures like Oni and dragons. If they are considered mystics, that alone makes them superior to magecraft. It's the law of nature for mystics to be destroyed by other, stronger mystics. In the same way magecraft grows in power with knowledge, phantasmal species accumulate power from their longevity. Even if a human masters magecraft, the most they can accumulate is about 500 years worth of it. Take a species that's lived since ancient times, there's just no contest between that, and a mystic that's only 500 years old. But it's been a long, long time since humans and phantasmals existed in the same world. The longer the phantasmal has lived, the further it's distanced itself from this world. The only phantasmal species in the modern world are a scant few hundred years old. So Saber expected the phantasmal rider has as her mount to be only a few hundred years old.
信頼のものを持ち出すとは、随分と業が深いようですね、ライダー。
You must be truly wicked if you thought to bring something from the Age of Gods here, Ryder.
私はあなたたちとは違う。むしろ、あなたたちの敵だったものに過ぎない。故に、私が操るのは、あなたたちが駆逐してきた、かわいそうな子たちだけよ。
Yes, I am different from you all. That is, I was merely an enemy for you, and so now I control the only poor things you people cast out in distant paths.
なるほど。歪んでいるとは思いましたが、英霊ではなく悪鬼の類でしたか、あなたは。
I see. I knew there was something twisted about you. You're a demonic spirit rather than a heroic spirit.
せいぜい呪いなさい。あなたでは私の子に触れることさえできないのだから。
Curse me all you want, it doesn't matter. You won't be able to lay so much as a finger on my darling here. The Pegasus rests its wings in the air. It's a giant arrow aimed at Saber's heart, ready to fire at a moment's notice. She glares at the creature and thinks. Pegasus itself is not as Pegasus itself is not a powerful phantasmal species. A typical Pegasus is just a phantasmal that can only match a demonic beast in power. Were that the case, it would be easy to defeat with Saber's invisible air alone, but it isn't the case. That Pegasus has existed since the Age of Gods, and has long since reached the level of Phantasmal. The horse is nearing the level of the dragon race, considered to be the strongest of all Phantasmals. At the very least, its defenses are probably already at the level of a dragon race, since Pegasus possesses divine protection that exceeds even Saber's, whose magic resistance is unparalleled. The way it glides through the air, drilling massive amounts of magical energy, is like a castle wall bearing down on Saber. It can't be possible to avoid or repel something like that. But something else is odd here. Ryder has simply summoned Pegasus, and it has no true name of its own. To Ryder, Pegasus is little more than, say, a favorite dagger, and that means she has yet to use her noble phantasm. Even in her dire predicament, the possibility of defeat never enters Saber's mind. Instead, she thinks her chance will come when Ryder really starts to get serious. Whatever Ryder's noble phantasm may be, it'll have no trouble destroying a building like this. She just needs to focus on defending herself and staying alive. Then all she'll have to do is cut Ryder down as soon as the opportunity presents itself. Yes, if only her master hadn't shown up. So we did fuck up. We should have just waited then. Because Shinji's not here. They look up towards the sky. Flapping wings, I hear flapping wings. Something a paler and more blinding white than the light of the moon hovers over me. It's a legendary mystic I've only heard about in this. A Pegasus? The identity of Ryder's noble phantasm. Could that be what scorched the rooftop and forced Saber to her knees? I see that Ryder is, as her class name suggests, riding a horse staring across the sky. I shifted my focus from Ryder. I thought I heard something. Shinji, I know you're here. Come on out. I can't tell how strong Ryder is while she's on Pegasus. All I can tell is that white fiend has more magical energy in it than a few hundred mages can muster. No wonder the roof is a charred mess. That monster can destroy damn near anything around it just by running across it. If that thing charges up from the sky, even Saber won't be able to avoid it. Quit hiding! I came here like you asked, so show yourself! It's a race against time. I need to defeat Shinji. If I defeat the master, Ryder will disappear. I hear laughter. Shinji must be hiding somewhere. Shinji! Did you hear that, Emiya? This is the difference between my power and yours. Only his voice echoes. I fight down my impatience and try to focus on the sound of his laughter. Damn, the wind's so strong. I can't tell where the laughter's coming from. Sucks for you. This is what you get when you try to act all cool and act like it's all under control, dumbass. Now do you understand that you have to go for the kill when you have the chance? Don't rush. Let him talk. Let him talk all he wants. The more he talks, the better chance I have of finding him. But I'm not like that. You and your servant are done and for, here and now. But it's not like we're total strangers, you know. I still owe you one from yesterday, so I'll be merciful and kill you quickly. This is bad. Pegasus, still high up in the sky, tips its head towards Saber. The vortex of magical energy whirs faster, as if it knows no limits. If that thing comes at us at full speed, it'll blow the entire roof apart. Don't worry, Emiya. You are a bit of a speed bump along the way, but I'll make sure those morons at school join you soon. And if you're still lonely after that, I'll send Sakura to join you too. Shinji! Go, Ryder! Take the woman first, don't leave a trace! A white comet streaks towards us, and at that moment, a storm rages around me. Saber! What? For the first time, she forgets her enemy in battle. She is furious with her master for walking into this death trap, but she's also angry with herself for failing to anticipate him doing so. All those thoughts are cast aside now. What else can she do? Even now, even in the midst of danger, she can only see concern for her well-being in her eyes. He's always been like this, actually. He may have understood that she was an exceptional knight, but that's never how he saw her.
どうやら余興はここまでのようね、セイバー。
It appears playtime is over, Saber. Ryder's giggling voice reaches her even now. Ryder touches Pegasus' neck with both her hands. The beast's wings beat harder.
私の宝具は強力ゆえ、地上で使うには適していない。使えばどうしても人目につく。まだ他にマスターがいる以上、おいそれと使うわけにはいかなかった。
My noble phantasm is powerful, but it's not suitable to be used on the ground. If I use it, it will draw attention. With other masters still around, I cannot do so readily.
けれど、ここなら覗き見される恐れはない。
But up here, there is no cause for worry.
あなたを誘い出したのは、ここでなら都合がいいからと分かりましたか？
You understand that I brought you up here because it suited me? Something begins to form in Ryder's hands. It seems insignificant, really, a glittering golden rope.
それが貴様の宝具か、ライダー。
Is that your noble phantasm? Is that your noble phantasm, Ryder?
私の趣味ではありませんが。
Yes, tasteful though it
この
is.
子は優しすぎて、戦いには向いていない。だからこんなものでも使わないと、その気になってくれないのよ。
My darling hair is too kind, not fit for battle. And so I need something like this to get them in the mood. Pegasus lowers its head. This feral nature is not informed with the creature itself, but coaxed from it by Ryder's
消えな
touch.
さい、セイバー。たとえあなたが生き延びようと、あなたのマスターは私からは逃げられない。マスターさえ死ねば、頑丈なあなたもそれまででしょう。
Even if you survive, your master has no chance. So long as your master dies, you will follow him now. It is the inarguable truth. Ryder's noble phantasm will utterly destroy the roof. If she hurried, she might be able to carry Shiro away and escape, but Ryder won't stop at just destroying the rooftop. Her master is not strong enough to survive a collapsing building. What is with all these perspective shifts? Stop shifting perspective so much. We don't need to do that. We need to protect her master. She'll have to destroy her enemy, Pegasus and all. She doesn't have time to think about whether this is the right thing to do. Saber glances one final time at her master, still some distance from her. He's doing his best to fill his role simply by gritting his teeth and looking back. A wind. The last of her hesitation fades. What is ahead no longer matters. All that matters is this moment, and in it she must be her master's blade, and defeat the enemy they now face.
やれライダー、まずはその女だ。跡形も残すなよ。
I hear the jarring, grating shout. In that moment, Pegasus ascends higher and vanishes from sight. Pegasus flies up into the air. It's already lost its form. It rises up as if to shoot from through the moon, and then continues its arc by flapping its wings, powering itself towards the ground. The blazing white comet streaks downward. It becomes an arrow of searing white light, but Ryder continues urging it on. There's only one target. It attempts to annihilate its enemy entirely, and the isolated guard in the sky along with it. She speaks its name. If a noble phantasm is the miracle that is released by speaking its true name. It is divine lightning. A thunderous flash. There is no emotion in her eyes as she looks on.
人目につかないと言ったな、ライダー。
You said no one would see you from this vantage, did you, Ryder? Didn't you, Ryder? The wind unfurls from her blade and becomes a storm.
同感だ。ここならば地上を焼き払う例もない。
I agree. There's no need to worry about destroying the ground from so high up. The seal is broken. Layers of wind unfold from her blade. Her sword is finally visible. A storm reaches before my eyes. The white light descended above the rooftop. Saber, though she is the sole focus of the light, doesn't move. The raging wind, she's the source. No, not Saber herself, her sword. can't believe what I'm seeing. The blade should be invisible, but there it is. Like unwrapping bandages, the wind slowly coils away from her blade. A golden sword? The wind rages on. The multiple layers of seals peel away. The bands of wind dissolve into the air. She readies her now visible sword and turns back towards Pegasus as it dives towards her. Ryder approaches at a brilliant flare of light. Bellerophon is now large enough to engulf the entire rooftop, and is only picking up speed to destroy us, building and all. The bridle of chivalry lights up the rooftop. Time stops. In the face of inescapable destruction, my mind goes blank. With the light, it is not coming from the bridle of chivalry. The light churns and builds upon itself. The light of Ryder's mount is brilliant, and it can't hold a candle to the purity I see in this one Saber is holding. The ultimate sacred sword that has collected the lights of the stars. Okay. Well, a single line of brilliant light. It's the blade of light shearing through everything it touches. The beam of light destroys Ryder utterly as it cleaves through the clouds and disappears from the night sky. Most likely, if that sword had been used on the ground, it would have carved a trail of devastation through the city. Her sword is not unseeable. It simply does not reveal itself. It is the golden sword that captivates all who behold it, with a true name of surpassing fame. Excalibur, the sword of promised victory. A sword that is said to have existed in England. A sword wielded by the king who has become the very symbol of knighthood. The strongest of the servant's noble phantasms, sealed by several mountain fields. That is Saber's proof of her place as a hero. Silence falls over the rooftop. The wind has died down, and not so much as a breeze whispers across the rooftop. I stand dazed in place. I can't approach Saber. I'm still too confused to act, or maybe I'm just captivated by her sword. My mind is racing, and I can't seem to think of much that makes sense. Why does she have that sword? That golden sword belongs to a famous knightly king. Everyone knows who. I try to figure out how she came to have something like that. I realize my mind is doing everything it can to deny the simplest of the possible answers. I don't need to be making all these assumptions. That sword's always been hers, and that's why her true name is so easy to figure out. The owner of that sacred sword can only have one name. Saber remains motionless where she stands. I should approach her, but my body won't listen. I've been told so many times that Saber is a heroic spirit, but now that I've seen for myself that she is indeed a great hero of the past, I hesitate to even get close to her. I hear a shriek. Something is burning in the shadows. I turn to look. I see a burning book slowly dissolving into a pile of ash and... It's burning! My command smells of burning! I see Shinji cringing as he watches the book burn. Shinji. He must have realized how much trouble he's in now that Ryder has been defeated. Shinji turns and sprints toward the exit from the rooftop. He leaps to the door to the stairway. Wait, Shinji! I can't let him get away again. The moment I turn to pursue Shinji, just out of the corner of my eye, I see Saber collapse. My mind stops. Shinji is fleeing and Saber has fallen to the ground. I should... Follow Shinji, she's fine. She's fine. She'll be fine. Shinji comes first. Saber defeated Ryder. My job is to get Shinji and make him quit being a master. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. Trust. I am more certain of that. I am more certain that she'll be fine. She just did what she's supposed to do. The sharp sound of footsteps echoed in the darkness. Shinji is swinging down the dark staircase.
なんだよ、なんなんだよあの女。あんなデタラメあっていいのかよ。ライダーのホーグは一番強いんだろ。なのにどうして負けるんだよ。セーバーのくせにあんなホーグ持ちやがって。不公平だ、不公平だ、不公平だ。
What the hell is with that woman? How could something so freaking crazy happen? When his noble phantasm was supposed to be the strongest, so how the hell did she lose? What does a stupid saber have a noble phantasm like that? It's fair, it's fair, it's fair! He rolls down the stairs, crashes into a wall, and then scampers on the ground. He's heading down, down, down. The image of light serving Ryder is ingrained into his mind, never leaving. It's like he says, that noble phantasm was unbelievable. That sacred sword may look godly to allies, but to an opponent it must be truly horribly demonic. So Shinji runs, even in pitch darkness. That light will find him if he stops. And if he turns around, it'll burn him to nothing, just like Ryder. He can't afford to stop. More than the loss of his servant, more than the loss of his command spells, and the end to his time as master, Shinji fears for his life. I'm so glad I picked this option. I'm so glad I picked this option.
くそくそくそくそくそ何が私の宝具は無敵ですだ。あの口だけ女、よくも僕を騙してくれたな。余裕ぶっていたぶってるから寝首をかかれる。
He is such an incel. He is such a chud. What was a crap about her noble phantasm being invisible, invincible? That muzzle talk, how dare she trick me? She got me into this mess because she was just too arrogant and idiot. But she follows his orders just as he gave them to her. He told her not to make it quick. Ryder had suggested destroying their enemies with a single blow from her noble phantasm, but Shinji ignored her and instead backed Saber into a corner. He's fallen again. He should be near to escaping the darkness, but he's run into a wall of some kind.
こんなところに壁なんか作りやがって。
Who the hell put a wall here? He punches it to vent his anger. Something sounds off. Shinji looks again at what he thought was a wall, then looks at his own arm, which is bent backward in a near circle. He's too afraid to even scream.
ダメよ。マキリのうち
Oh shit!
敗者には逃げ道なんてないんだから。
You're not playing fair, you little Makirian maggot. There's no escape for losers like you. Playful laughter fills the stairwell. A silver-haired girl emerges from the oppressive darkness. He recognizes her. In the brief instant Shinji realizes who he sees, he dies. Well, rip. I run through the darkened stairwell. It may be too dark to see, but I can still pursue Shinji. There's nothing else around to make a noise at this point. The sound of Shinji's footsteps echoes up the stairwell, so he's not hard to follow. I don't hear his footsteps anymore. The change happened suddenly. He was close, I could hear it. He's still got a ways to go before he reaches the elevators. I can't think of any reason for Shinji to stop here. Shinji? I move quietly, cautiously, trying to find the reason his footstep stops. I see where Shinji stopped running. The corridor, which had been empty when I passed up by on my way up, is now splattered with blood. I feel my senses buzz with numbness. Before my mind even attempts to understand what's happening here, my body reacts instinctively. I shouldn't be here. Saber told me to listen to my senses, and they are screaming at me to head back to the roof if I want to live. Sorry I'm late. Are you alright, Saber? I fight down my nausea and make my way to Saber. Okay, well I guess it didn't really matter to begin with. Saber is in bad shape. Beads of sweat trickle down her brow and her breath is shallow, labored. She looks like she's got a fever. Oh, wait, hey, Saber, what's going on? I call out to her nervously, but she doesn't respond. She's out cold. Saber? I touch her forehead. It's hot. I jerk my hand away. It's unnaturally hot. She's got to be running a fever of over 40 degrees. Hey, pull yourself together! I call out to her, but her only response is shallow, anguished breathing. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what to do, but I can't just stand around. I'm going to take you home. I'll deal with any complaints later. I lift her up. She's so light. I know that, of course, but now she seems to be even lighter. No more than that, she's more than me. She's still alive. She's still the person I've known all this time. I'm pissed with myself for even hesitating. Damn, what does it matter if she's a hero? No matter who she is, she's here and she's still warm. No matter how much of an idiot was I for putting up this wall between us before. We're going home quick. Just hold still. I start running. She's in my arms. There's no sense of triumph from this victory. All I feel is her in my arms, barely breathing.
終わったわよ。
It's
和
done.
室に寝かせてきたけど、あの分じゃしばらく目を覚まさないでしょうね。
I'm having her sleep in the Japanese-style room. She's not waking up anytime soon, though. The state she's in. Thanks for taking a look. I wouldn't have been able to treat Saber.
まあ鎧を脱がせて楽にさせただけだからお礼を言われるほどじゃないわ。セイバーの体も良くならないし私は何もしてないもの。
Well, I just took her armor off to make her more comfortable. And there's really nothing to thank me for. She's not improving, so I didn't do much. But I'm still glad Tasuko is here. The moment I arrived home carrying Saber, she understood what was going on. It's been an hour. She tried telling Saber what she was going to do, then took her armor off.
それで何があったの？
So what
シン
happened?
ジを探しに行って帰ってきたと思ったらセイバーがあれでしょ。一波乱あったのはわかるけど説明してくれないかしら。
You went to go find Shinji and you came home with a wounded Saber. I know something happened. Care to explain? I don't know how to explain. Saber's noble phantasm. I shouldn't disclose her true name. I can't decide on my own to reveal that. Raider's been defeated. Shinji lost his command spells and dropped out, but Saber used her noble phantasm and collapsed right after.
ふーん。
Shinji's more than just dropped out.
まあ追求するのは勘弁してあげるわ。今のあなたたちはそれどころじゃないものね。
I don't want details, but I can let that go for now. Probably the least of your concerns at this point. Why? What do you mean the least of my concerns?
言葉通りの意味よ。あなただってうすうすは気づいているんでしょ。このままじゃセイバーが消えるってことぐらい。
How is that unclear? You've got to have it figured out by now that Saber's going to disappear. What? She says it so calmly. She just casually brings up the one thing I've been trying so hard to avoid. Disappear? You're saying Saber's going to disappear?
当然でしょ。セイバーの魔力はほとんど空っぽなのよ。セイバーの宝具がどんなものだったかは知らないけど、よっぽど魔力を使うものだったんでしょうね。
Yes, Saber's almost out of magical energy. I don't know what sort of magical noble phantasm she used, but it must have burned through an incredible amount of magical
セイバー
energy.
は自分の中の魔力をほぼ消費してしまった。
She's used up most of the magical energy she
今
had.
彼女が苦しんでいるのはね、消えようとしている自分を必死に留めているからよ。
She's in so much agony because she's fighting so hard to remain here, even as she's on the brink of disappearing from the lack of magical energy. She's going to disappear because she doesn't have magical energy. So you're saying that she's going to disappear even though she's not hurt?
ええ、サーバントにとっては外的ダメージより魔力切れの方が深刻な問題よ。
Yes, running out of magical energy is a more serious problem than a servant just getting
霊
wounded.
体であるサーバントに肉体を与えているのは魔力だもの。それがなくなれば消えるしかない。
Magical energy is how servants are able to give their spirit forms flesh. Without it, they'll
もっと
disappear.
もそんなことにならないようにマスターはサーバントに魔力を送るんだけど、あなたはそれができないでしょ。
Typically, masters provide their servants with magical energy so that doesn't happen. But you can't do that.
だからセイバーは自分の魔力だけで戦うしかない。切れたらそれまでよ。こんなこと一番初めに説明したでしょ。
That means she can only fight with her own magical energy. Once she runs out, it's over. You were told that from the start. That's definitely what Saber said. She was fine before, and she said she could recover if she slept.
それはセイバーの魔力量が桁外れだったからよ。
Only because she had an extraordinary amount of magical energy to begin with.
そうね。確かにセイバーの魔力はまだ残ってる。
And yes, there's still some magical energy left in
彼
her.
女ならまだ消えずに肉体を保つぐらいの魔力は回復できるとは思う。
She can probably recover enough magical energy to maintain her body without disappearing.
けど結局はそこ止まりよ。セイバーはずっと今の状態で戦うことになる。
But that'll be about it. She needs to fight the way she
宝
is
具を
now.
使うなんてもってのほか。次に宝具を使えばセイバーは間違いなく消え去るでしょうね。
She absolutely cannot use her noble phantasm again. The next time she does, she'll disappear. She'll disappear if she uses her noble phantasm. Well, I wouldn't see her fighting like this at all. I don't ever want to see Saber on her knees in that kind of pain again.
理解できた？結局セイバーを以前の状態に戻す方法は2つだけよ。
Now do you understand? You only have two ways of getting Saber back to the
マ
normal
スターが
state.
サーバントに魔力を提供するか、サーバントが自分で魔力を補充するか。
Either the master replenishes their magical energy, or they have their servant collect magical energy themselves. The servant collecting it themselves. That would mean killing innocent people like Ryder. That's impossible. Saber would never do that. She said herself that she'd never do such a thing.
でしょうね。一般人を犠牲にするぐらいなら、セイバーは潔く消えるでしょう。
I figured as much. If she had to involve innocent people, I'm sure Saber would choose to let herself
なら
disappear.
方法は一つだけよ。セイバーを消したくないのなら、あなたが魔力を提供するしかないわ。
Then there's only one other option. If you don't want Saber to disappear, you'll need to provide her with magical energy. And if I could, I would have done that a long time ago. But I don't know how to give her magical energy. I can't do everything you
まあ
can.
ね。共有の魔術を教えてあげても間に合わない。シローは魔術師に向いてないから、覚えるのに1年ぐらいかかるだろうし、覚えたところで使えないわ。
Probably not, and it's too late to teach you magecraft to share magical energy. I'm really not considered to be a mage, so it would probably take you a year to learn, and even if you learned it, you wouldn't be able to use it.
まあ、召喚時にセイバーとパスは通っているはずだから、まだ他に方法があるかもしれないけど。
Well, a path should have been created between you and Saber during your summoning, so there might be a different way, but
いい？セイバーを助けたいのなら、彼女自身に人を襲わせて魂を食べさせるしかない。
listen, if you want to save Saber, you'll have to make her attack people and then have her eat their
それは
souls,
あなたにも分かってると思うけど。
which I'm sure you know already. That's the most realistic method, but it's...
もちろんセイバーは嫌がるでしょう。
I'm sure Saber would
け
hate
ど
that.
放っておけば遅かれ早かれセイバーは消えて、あなたは他のマスターから狙われることになる。
But if you just do nothing, Saber will disappear and you'll become a target for other masters. Saber's going to disappear. I can't even consider that. I still remember the warmth of her body when I was carrying her.
なら答えは一つよ。
And there's only one
レイジを
answer.
使いなさい、エミ役。それで最悪の事態は避けられる。
Use a command cell, Emiya. That should at least let you avoid the worst case here. What she's trying to say is, I need to order Saber to kill innocent people. I can't say anything. I resent what Tosca is saying, but there's part of me that has to admit it could be one of our options.
決断はあなたに任せるわ。セイバーは眠らせておけば落ち着くだろうけど、それでも限界は近いでしょうね。
I'll let you decide. Saber's condition might settle down as she sleeps, but she's at her limit. Tosca leaves the room. I can't even lift my head. All I can do is listen to the sound of her footsteps retreating down the hall.